Hello all, I'm Marin. Welcome to or welcome back to my channel. Today's video is going to be my February round of Bookopoly. So let's go ahead and get into it. January's Bookopoly TBR had 6 books on it, so let's go ahead and run through and see how I did. Roll 1 landed me on Literally Dead Book Club. For that, I chose One by One by Ruth Ware, which I have read. Roll 2 was a double and it landed me on Buzzword, so I chose Before the Coffee Gets Cold, which was my January Buzzword pick, and I did read it. Roll 3 landed me on TBR Vet. For that, I chose Bride by Allie Hazelwood, which I did read. Roll 4 landed me on Fantasy. For that, I chose Emily Wilde's Encyclopedia of Fairies, which I did read. Roll 5 landed me on Big Book, which is a book over 500 pages. For that, I chose Iona by Allison Goodman, which I did read. And roll 6 was a community shelf prompt, and I drew the prompt ebook. So for that, I chose the 46th Nancy Drew book by Carolyn Keene, which is The Invisible Intruder, and I did read it. Which means I have completed January's TBR, so it is time for me to pick a reward prompt to hopefully help me in either this round of the game or an upcoming round of the game. So let me grab the reward prompts and we're gonna see which one I get to put in my back pocket for this month. Okay, so I have 8 reward prompts here. I'm just gonna go ahead and mix them up. These are mostly repeats from last year. I did add a couple new ones, but overall they are the same prompts that I had last year. So if you have ideas for reward prompts, feel free to leave them down below. But we're gonna go ahead and pick one of them and see what I can potentially use this week. So I'm just gonna fan them out this way, and I'm gonna pick this one right here. Okay. This one is swap out any prompt. So I will be able to basically choose another prompt on the board that I would rather have in place of one that I maybe don't want to do. So that is a very nice gift to have in my back pocket. So now let me go ahead and set the board up and we'll see what the rolls have in store for me for February. Okay, the board is set up. I will be starting over there on Community Shelf because that is where I ended last month, and we're gonna go ahead and get started. So this is roll 1. We have a 3. And that is seasonal, which means I need to choose a book off of my seasonal TBR. So let me see which one I want to do for that roll. All right, for seasonal TBR, I've decided to go with Thin Air by Michelle Paver. This is on my winter TBR, and I'm actually planning on doing a seasonal vlog this month, so this is actually perfect. So this is a ghost story about some men who attempt to climb a mountain in the Himalayas, and they run into ghosts because it is a ghost story. I have read 2 books by this author already. One I gave 5, one I gave 4, so I do have pretty high expectations for this one, so we'll see what I think. Okay, roll 2. We have a 4. And that is a person on the cover, so that's pretty self-explanatory. Let me see what I can find. Roll 2 landed me on Person on the Cover, so I will be reading The Fox Wife by Yangtze Chu. This was a Book of the Month book that I picked up back in February of 2024 and did not read. This is also part of my winter TBR though, so it's nice to get it on the official TBR. It does have a person on the cover, so it works for this prompt. All right, we'll do roll 3, and that is an 8. And that is the Literally Dead Book Club. We do have a pick for February, so let me talk about what it's gonna be. Roll 3 landed me on Literally Dead Book Club. This is a book club that is run by Kayla at Books and Lala, where we read mystery, thriller, and horror books 10 out of the 12 months of the year, although she has mentioned that this year she's only going to do 9 months. But February's pick is How to Kill a Guy in 10 Dates by Shaylee Thompson. This is like a horror romance-ish book or something. She's really excited about it. I had not even heard about it until she mentioned it, but this is the pick for February, so it's what I'm putting on this TBR. All right, roll 4 is a double. That's a 2, so we have 6 rolls now. but that's okay. That is Buzzword, which I need to read anyway, so let me see what I want to do for that one. Roll 4 landed me on Buzzword. The February Buzzword is to read a book that has a keyboard key in the title. So this could be letters, numbers, punctuation, or it can be functional keys, which is what I've decided to go with. I am going with the escape key. So I will be reading A Well-Trained Wife, My Escape from Christian Patriarchy. This is by Tia Levings. I heard from a friend that she really enjoyed this, although it's a difficult read, and I'm looking forward to giving it a go. So the Buzz cover pick is Silhouette, and in my opinion, this is a silhouette as well. So I'm counting it for both the Buzzword and Buzz cover. So 2 birds, 1 stone, etc. But this is a book about a woman who is recruited into the fundamentalist Quiverful movement as a young wife. I'd never heard of them, but there we go. That is my Buzzword pick for February. All right, roll 5 is a 7. And that is recent purchase, which is any book that I have purchased within the last calendar year. So I have lots of options. Let me see what I want to do. Roll 5 was recent purchase, as you just saw, and I will be reading Cast: The Origins of Our Discontents by Isabel Wilkerson. This is actually my nonfiction pick for February. I mentioned in January's TBR that I will be reading 1 nonfiction book per month, and I'm trying to tie them into the monthly celebrations that happen throughout the year. So obviously February is Black History Month, so this is the one that I am reading in honor of Black History Month. If you are interested in joining me in a read along of this of sorts, I have created a discussion post sort of on my community tab, which I have linked down below in the comments. So feel free to post your thoughts and things as you read this along with me. I would love to have some company in reading this book, so I will hopefully see you in the comments. All right, this is roll 6, which will hopefully be the last roll. Let's see. It is. That is a 7. And that is a fantasy book, which is exactly what I got last month, but that's okay. Let me see what I want to choose for that prompt. All right, and for fantasy, I have chosen The Knight and the Moth by Rachel Gillig. This is another book that I was supposed to read in 2025 and didn't get to. This is about Sybil. She is a diviner and she meets a knight. And I'm guessing that some type of romance is going to develop between them because this was in the romantasy category for the Goodreads Choice Awards. So we will see what I think about it. Now I do have 2 other books that I am hoping to get to this month because these would help me cross off some of those Goodreads seasonal challenges that they're doing. So the first one is The Names by Florence Knapp, and this one is I don't know if it's like magical realism, but it's about what would happen if a woman named her child different names, basically. So I've heard good things about it. This was another one that was nominated for a Goodreads Choice Award last year, so I'm curious to see what I think. I do have this one out from the library, so I will need to get to it in a pretty timely fashion. And then the other one that I have is another one that will help me with the Goodreads seasonal challenges, and that is Challenger by Adam Higginbotham. I have heard really good things about this one. I read Midnight in Chernobyl by him last year and gave that one 5 stars, so I do have very high expectations for this one. This one's chunky, but I found myself really engrossed in his narrative style for Midnight in Chernobyl, so I'm hoping that the same will happen with this one. But these 2 are the other ones that I'm really hoping to get read this month, so we will see if I can manage it. So once again, I was pretty lucky with the rolls. These were all books that I needed to read this month anyway, so I cannot complain overly much at all about the amount of books on the TBR. So yes, that is February's Bookopoly. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, please leave me a thumbs up. Consider subscribing to my channel if you would like to see more from me. If you made it to the end of the video and would like to leave an emoji to show you were here, you can leave the die emoji in honor of the dice I roll for my game, and I will see you in my next video. Bye, everyone.